It's sad that guys like this mess it up for the actual good cops who are trying to protect and serve and are doing the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Matter of Opinion, and I'm your boy Walls P. Now in today's episode, you have a former cop who had 80 felonies. That's right, 80 felonies. Still landed another job, and then at that job, he started stealing. This individual is 36-year-old former Chadbourn Police Chief Anthony Spivey. Now let me give you some background of what Mr. Spivey did. Anthony Spivey was arrested by Chadbourn City Police after Chief Donald Dawless said a body shop where Spivey had been working reported 2 Cadillac converters were stolen sometime during the Christmas holidays. ABC affiliate WWAY is reporting the stolen parts were found at Spivey's home, and police say he admitted to the thefts. He's been charged with larceny by the employee and was jailed under a $10,000 bond. Now, one thing to point out, he was already out on bond from the 80 felonies that he's currently facing. And with him facing the 80 felonies, he still wind up landing another job. Let's continue. Spivey, 36, is awaiting trial on more than 80 felony charges from a 2021 arrest. He is accused of embezzling state property evidence, trafficking opium and heroin, and trafficking by fraudulent or forging prescriptions. He is also accused of embezzling funds meant for the family of a boy battling cancer. Investigators say he took $8,000 intended for the family of Philip Tanner Buffkin, who died of leukemia in 2019. And if it doesn't get any worse, Spivey also allegedly stole and sold 5 guns from the Chadbourn Police Department. Now, the sad part about it is that when you have a guy who's a career criminal work his way up to police chief and is still committing crimes. Now, I'm not sure how long he's been on the police force, but clearly this been going on for years, because you're talking at least minimum 2019, and he's just now starting to face his demons. This is why it's sad that there's no accountability when it comes to policing. Police are held at a lower standard than regular people, while it should be the other way around. Regular people should be held at a lower standard while police get held at a higher standard. Why? Because they know the law. They're the ones who's supposed to enforce it. Case in point, here you have Kim Potter who mistaken her gun for a taser and wind up killing somebody. But then on the flip side, you have a truck driver whose brakes malfunctioned while he was driving, crashed into traffic, killed a couple of people, and wind up with over 100-year sentencing. This trucker is held at a higher standard because he should have known how to operate the vehicle. He should have did whatever possible for his brakes not to fail. It's a level of accountability because you're the professional. Whereas when you're a cop, you tend to get the lesser of the penalties. Because Kim Potter is getting, what, 2 years? And I guarantee you she'll be out before those 2 years. We have an accountability issue when it comes to those in law enforcement. Every other field, everybody else is held at a higher standard. Because it's looked upon, you should know because you're the professional. So, if you have a guy that's a criminal going to policing and he know he has the cover of the shield, what's to prevent him or stop him from continuing his life of crime? That's why a lot of people believe that the biggest criminals in the biggest gang is the police force. Now, with that being said, there are good cops, and not all cops are doing what this man is doing. But it's hard for a person to have ultimate power and not abuse it. And there's no way you can tell me that none of his colleagues knew what was going on. We've seen far too many times where a cop is doing bad and police officers stand around and not do nothing. Case in point, the one officer who grabbed the woman officer by the neck when she attempted to stop him from acting violent towards a perp they apprehended. If you didn't see that video, we covered it on the channel. Click this card right here and check it out. Or how about the 3 officers who sat there and watched George Floyd die? I'm glad they were all found guilty, because at the end of the day, none of them did nothing. Nobody pushed the officer off of George Floyd. They just sat there and watched. Everybody else around was saying, hey, you're killing this guy, get off of him. But the officers who are supposed to know better, they sat there and watched him die. And if matters don't get worse, after this scumbag gets all these charges, get a second opportunity at another job, and then steal from that job, once the walls are closing in on him, this is what this man does.
A former police chief there tried to fake his own death and is now in jail after hiding out with a relative just across the South Carolina line. Authorities believe former Chadbourn Police Chief Anthony Spivey was attempting to elude criminal conviction on dozens of charges that led to his termination from the police force.
His first arrest came last year after he was accused of stealing guns, drugs, and cash from the Chadbourn Police Department evidence locker. He then got arrested again, charged with embezzling thousands of dollars from a family whose son was battling leukemia. Despite the charges, Spivey was able to post a $500,000 bond to get out of jail while awaiting trial. He was set to appear in court Monday, but didn't show up. About the same time, his boat was discovered abandoned on the Lumber River, along with an apparent suicide note. Because of the unusual circumstances, authorities thought he may have staged his own death to get out of his legal trouble. Sheriff's deputies looked for his body, while the SBI and U.S. Marshals looked for signs he might still be alive. They got a tip yesterday he was hiding out with an aunt just over the South Carolina line and found him in a creek behind her apartment complex. Spivey's aunt says she didn't know she was harboring a fugitive. She believes her nephew is innocent and being set up. Spivey could be facing more charges and more arrests could be on the way. Those details could come out of the Columbus County Sheriff's Office press conference tomorrow afternoon.
So let me get this straight. You live your life as a career criminal, but yet you're the ones who are supposed to stop the bad guys and protect and serve, but you're a bad guy yourself and you know you're protected by the shield if you get caught. Then you squander that, get another opportunity, and then you're stealing at that company. And after all of that, instead of facing your demons, trying to show accountability for your actions, you go and try and fake your own death. To be honest, if I'm keeping it 100, what make you different from this dude right here?
There is one way to get out of paying your child support.
Because I was ineligible to pay it. I was in the hospital. I died in a car accident.
What did he just say?
I died in a car accident.
You died in a car accident?
Yes.
Explain that.
No further questions.
And this is a guy that made it up to police chief. It's sad that guys like this mess it up for the actual good cops who are trying to protect and serve and are doing the right thing. But man, for a guy like this to actually make it to police chief, that means we got a long way to go with cleaning up the police force. So until we see the people who are supposed to uphold the law get held at a higher standard, we're always gonna have this issue. Because let's face it, a person who's a criminal see that they have some type of shield will definitely abuse that privilege. I mean, think about it. Not too long ago, when cops were caught doing bad, all they had to do was leave that particular precinct and go to another precinct, and their record wouldn't follow them. It would be hard to find. So you could just hide amongst other police officers and continue your life of crime protected by that shield. So we definitely need to address the accountability issue when it comes to those who are enforcing the law. Until that happens, people are gonna look at policing as the biggest gang or the biggest lawbreakers in America. That's gonna do it for this episode of Matter of Opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I would love to hear your take. If it's your first time here, consider hitting that subscribe button and definitely click that notification bell. If you like the video, smash that like button and share it on your social media platforms. Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook group, our Discord, and our locals. The link is in the description. Once again, this is Matter of Opinion. I'm your boy Walls P, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
It's a matter of opinion.